Hi, San Ildefonso. Good morning. It's Tana from Espaniola Fitness Studio, Bridge to Health, New Mexico, with you today to do a Pilates class. So on Monday, we did Pilates with tubing, with handles, and today we're not going to use anything but our mat and our body. So let's get ready. You can have shoes off. It's actually preferred, but if you feel like you need to keep your shoes on, that's totally fine. Of course, if your shoes are off, make sure that you don't have any stickers or anything that can get stuck in your feet, especially for diabetics. It's super important to keep your feet super healthy. Okay, we're just going to talk about Pilates a sec before we get started in the workout. Pilates is an exercise that was created for ballet dancers by, I was going to say a guy from Germany, but I'm not sure if he's German or Danish or something. Anyway, Northern European. Created for ballet dancers to create long and strong muscles, graceful muscles. So I want you to think about that as you practice. It focuses a lot on the core. Our core is from the bottom of our hips all the way up to the top of our ribs, to our sternum. So sort of pelvis to sternum, all the way around the trunk. So people worry a lot about their abs, their frontal ab muscles, because they feel like those are the ones that show in your swimsuit, right? But we also have our lateral side muscles that are part of the core and our back muscles that are part of the core. So sometimes I tell people to imagine that you're inside a barrel. You know those old cartoons when somebody was naked, they would be inside a barrel. Picture that, and where the barrel is, that's your core. Okay, so we're going to work inside the barrel today. Go ahead and stand up now, and I'll continue to talk about the 6 principles of Pilates. First of all, line up your mat kind of straight. Pilates is a lot about alignment and centering, and I find that if your mat is off center, it kind of throws your brain off to feel like your body is off center also. So we're going to start. The first principle of Pilates is centering. So I want you to look down at your feet and make sure that they are spread out and flat from the bottom of the heel to the pad to the toes, spread out. The ankles should be right under the knees, knees under the hip bones under the ribs, ribs right under the armpits and shoulders, shoulders right under the ears. You're centered. Feel that? All right. Now we're going to center top to bottom. So top of the head, right above the nose, nose above the chin, chin above the sternum, sternum above the belly button above the pubic bone right between the feet. You may feel like that's where everything belongs, right? But you'd be surprised where it actually ends up. Usually we're not walking around very centered. Using a mirror or looking down at your body, making sure everything is where you think it is a really good idea. Okay. So we've centered side to side and top to bottom. Now we're going to center front to back. So the first thing I want you to do is to lift your pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor are the muscles that you stop pee with. We just got to say it, you guys. No shame. So pretend that you really have to pee and you can't. Squeeze the pelvic floor. You'll feel your lower abdominals contract when you do that, all right? So your lower abdominal muscles are in. Now take the belly button and contract the muscles around it and pull it into the spine. Now, see what happened to my shoulders and chest when I did that? I kind of concaved forward. I'm going to relax from the ribs up and tighten from the ribs, between the ribs and the hip. Okay? Now, second principle of Pilates, after centered, we're centered. Second principle is breathing. You may feel like having contracted the core, it's now a little challenging to breathe because we're accustomed to breathing with our belly. I do want to say that if you practice yoga, the way I'm going to ask you to breathe in a Pilates class is opposite, okay? In yoga, we ask you to take deep abdominal breaths. In Pilates, I ask you to take high lateral rib accordion breaths. So first I want you to place your hands around the ribs. And I want you to picture your intercostal muscles. Intercostal muscles are what hold the ribs together. So it's like a basket woven between the bones of the ribs. Hold on to those. And now as you inhale, expand it to the side like an accordion. Ready? And then as you exhale, you pull those muscles in and down. Let's try it again. Expand. Contract. Pilates breath. You inhale through the nose. Exhale forcefully through an O shape of the mouth. It's not a gentle breath. Again, 2 more breaths. I like to hold on to the ribs just at the beginning to give you an idea for what to feel for. You don't have to if you don't want to. All right. We're centered. We're breathing. One more point about breathing. Breathing should never be stressful in any kind of exercise. So I'm going to teach you the proper way to breathe in a Pilates class. But really the most important thing is that you're breathing. So at any point, if you just want to take a totally normal breath, I want you to do that. Okay, never get lightheaded, never feel anxiety, anxiousness, or panic about breathing. Just breathe. It doesn't matter. All right, we're centered, we're breathing. Third principle of Pilates is control. I want you to control your movements and your mind, which brings us to the fourth principle, which is concentration. Concentration is keeping the mind focused on what you're doing in this time and place. So to do that, again, going back to yoga, you guys who practice yoga, this will be easy for you. For the rest of you, I want you to connect your mind to your breath. So as you inhale, bring the mind into the body. As you exhale, let the mind settle in the body. Now, various thoughts are going to come and pop into your brain. Don't fight them. Just let them flow through and pass through. Everything you need to think about today will still be there after your class. So we're centered. We're breathing. We're under control. We're concentrating. Fifth principle is precision. Precision is your small movements. Where your hands are, what your toes are doing, where your chin and your ears are very important for alignment. Alignment is the lining up of the bones, the muscles, the ligaments, the parts of your body to be where they are the most effective and efficient and healthy for your body. So precision matters. So when I tell you that your hand is like this instead of like this, it matters. Last principle before we get to work is flow. Flow, remember I told you Pilates was created for ballet dancers. So flow is grace and also energy flow. So you're going to change the way your energy is flowing in the body and the way that your body flows through space. All right? You might not look super graceful, but that's okay. I want you to feel super graceful because what we perceive ourselves as in our mind manifests itself somewhat outside, okay? Last thing I want to say is that the way I do Pilates classes is I teach you about 10 exercises in a sequence, and then we will flow through those same 10 exercises, usually about 3 times in a 1-hour class. All right? Here we go. We're going to start standing at the back end of your mat. I'm not going to put any music on today because I don't want for YouTube to mute it or to freeze the video because of the music. So I'm going to invite you to put on your own music if you would like, okay? All right, we're centered, we're breathing, we're controlled, we're concentrating, we're precise, and we're flowing. First thing you're going to do is a nice shoulder roll. Inhale, shoulders forward. Exhale, shoulders up. In. I said that backwards, didn't I? Inhale up and exhale down. 2 more times. Good. Now at your elbows come up, listening to your shoulder range of motion, only doing what feels good for your body. 2 more. And then big arm. Good. Now roll the shoulders from the back to the front, warming up the entire back, the shoulders, the neck, the arms. At the elbows. And add the full arm. All right, from here, we're going to go straight into our first roll down. So a roll down, you do a cervical nod, which means you stretch your cervical spine by nodding the chin down to the chest. Now, slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. This first time through, I'm going to ask you to soften and bend your knees. 1 vertebra at a time. Feel that back stretch as you go over. Only as far as you want to go. And come up. Keep those bent this first time. And if you have back issues, I want you to keep your knees bent. If you feel okay, you may try with the knees straight. It's up to you, your body. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, roll up slowly, 1 inch at a time. Don't get dizzy, don't come up too fast. 2 more. Take as many breaths as you need to get down. Let the head and hands be heavy. Okay, stay down this time. Forward fold, stretch. I want to invite you to have a chair here if you can't go down all the way, or to soften the knees and put your hands on top of your thighs, because I want you to drop your head. Hold and breathe. Now, take your hands to the floor and walk out into plank. All right, plank, you should be straight from the butt to the top of the head and down to the ankles. Here's a great modification for plank is to just put the knees down. Now I'm really engaging my core. My belly button is in towards the spine. My back is engaged. My shoulder blades are domed. I want you to dome the shoulder blades, so slightly separate the shoulder blades. Line up the cervical spine at the back of the neck by looking down with the eyes. Hold. Breathe. Feel strong. Push back through the heels. Now, everybody, softly drop your knees together and sink back into shell. Hold and stretch. Come back up into your second plank. Remember your modifications. Hold. Concentrate. 4, 3, 2, 1. Shell. Rest this time with the hands back. Grab onto the feet. Stretch, rest. Sit down on the side of your mat and take your feet out to the corners of your mat. So if I were facing the front, I'm kind of sitting like a doll, okay? Like your feet are just a little bit out, a little bit wider than the hips, okay? I'll go ahead and stay facing the front so you can see. Find your sit bones and sit right in the center of them with the spine coming up right out of those sit bones. Fingertips to the floor, shoulders pressing down. Your latissimus dorsi muscles of the back are pulling down and in to hold the arms up. All right? Stay there. Long spine, chin parallel to the floor. Breathe. Now this time, inhale, grow tall. We're going to do saw. Exhale, little rotation in the torso as far as you can, and then put that hand wherever it ends up. It may end up inside the leg, on top of the leg, or even outside the leg. Try to keep the chest open and the hands 180 degrees apart, and then bend that elbow, stretch down and look up towards the other hand. Hold and up, center, breathe. Exhale, release the other way. Release down wherever that hand ends up. Airplane and up. Let's do that slow one more time. Spine stays nice and long throughout, even when it's twisted and stretching. So nice. Hold. And up. Okay, relax those arms, relax the legs a little bit. Now, we're going to add the true saw. I want you to make yourself into a transformer. So I want you to put razors, imaginary razors, along the side of your hand and pinky, okay? Because that's going to become the saw. Okay, you're out. Inhale, grow long with the spine. Exhale, I want you to saw your pinky toe with your pinky finger. Double saw. Got that? And then come up. Other way, saw, saw. Lift and saw, saw. Double exhale as you saw. Last set, right and left. Good. Relax. Okay, I'm going to turn back to the side. You can stay where you are. Now, take your legs straight out in front of you, hip distance apart. Flex the feet and take the hands parallel to the floor. Spine is nice and long. You remember the roll down that we did just a few minutes ago? We're going to do that, but seated. So I'm going to start with the cervical nod. One vertebra at a time goes, curves the spine, shoulders are down and relaxed, and I'm going to stretch forward and come up. Pretend that you're rolling out a pie crust. Hands on the counter, they stay on the counter and they roll the dough, and then they come up. Let's do 4 more. Last one. Good. Next exercise is called a roll down. I'm going to show you the modification first. First of all, I want you to be sure that you don't have any belt buckles or anything uncomfortable buttons or anything on your back, because we're going to roll onto our back. So your modification first is to bend the knees. Go ahead and hold onto the back of your thighs. Tuck the pelvis under. Lift up. The abs are going to automatically go in. Concave the chest and curve the spine. Tuck the chin and support yourself as you go down. So in the modification, you're holding onto your thighs to help you not go down too fast. If that's uncomfortable for your back, you can also put the hands here and you're going to roll down. Spine flat, take the arms overhead. Exhale, come up. In the modification, you're going to either put the hands to the floor or hold onto the thighs, cervical mod, and roll up to full forward stretch. Now, no modification. You're going to have strong abs here. Curve the spine. Roll down. Control, 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 control. Overhead. Exhale, arms come up. Forward. Again, slide back. Using the modification or the full form. Remember the concept of flow. Try to keep it strong and long and graceful. Lengthen and strengthen. This will be our last set. And just come halfway to seated. Next exercise, guys. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget, drink water. Remember, we just have a few more exercises to teach you, and then we're going to flow through the whole sequence a few times. Okay, sit sideways. I want you to line up your body from the shoulders to the chest, to the belly, to the hips, to the knees, to the ankles, to the toes. Everything is straight. Now that can feel kind of off balance, right? So take this front arm and put it in front of you to support yourself, leaning slightly forward. All right, first thing we're going to do is the opera clap, I call it. Next time you go to the opera, clap with your feet. So you're going to lift the top leg and then you're going to clap with the bottom foot and lower. All right, what are you using here? Everything, right? Everything except your jaw. Relax your jaw. If you feel more comfortable with the head down, definitely take it down, your choice. Now, no cheating just by clapping the toes. See that? That's cheating because your leg doesn't have to go up as much. So clap the whole ankle. 4 more. Last one. Good. Now, lift both legs and hold. Relax your neck and shoulders. Press the shoulders down. Take the hand off to the side if you can, and then take the hand over and down. Again, over and down. One more time. Over and down. Now, keep your legs up, but carry them to a pike position. Go ahead and put that arm down. Carry to a pike. That means the corner of the mat. Now here we have a slight angle from the abs to the thighs. The hips are slightly piked. This arm is forward for balance. Lift that top leg and we're going to bicycle. Remember, the hips are part of our core. So I'm holding my abdominal muscles in my back steady. So I'm only going to move my legs, but I'm strengthening here around the hips. Bicycle. I'm going to keep the leg parallel to the floor, come forward, then develop, back, and up, and back, Keep going. Feel the glutes squeezing in the back, nice and balanced. Swing straight forward. Last one. And to the back. We're going to reverse the bicycle. Develop to the front. That means coming from a bent position to a straight position, and then sweep back like you're frosting the top of a cake. And forward. Foot stays pointed here unless it cramps up. Mine is cramping a little bit today, so you might see mine flex a bit. Last one. Whew. Good, lots of foot cramps for me today. Go ahead and put the legs together, rest, and flip to the other side. Line up straight on the mat. Use the lines on your mat or your carpet or your floor to make sure that you're straight. Straight from the shoulders to the chest, ribs, hips, knees, feet. This hand in front to make sure that you're nice and stable. Hold that belly in, breathe laterally through the accordion ribs, remember? Okay, let's do our upper clap. Lift, clap, lower, down. Lengthen the legs, don't let them get shorter. Two more. Good. Lift both and hold. Good. If you can, I'm not sure I can on this side. There we go. Release the hand, hold, and let's go 3. This side is harder for me. You probably have a side that's harder too. 2. And 1. Keep the legs up and carry to your pike. Good. Shift slightly forward. Abs tight. Lift and bicycle 4 times each direction. Reverse. Keep the leg parallel to the floor. Frost the top of the cake. Good. You'll feel your heart rate come up. Good. Relax. Roll onto your back. 2 more exercises, guys, then we'll put it all together. Okay. What do I want to do? Okay, we're going to do a bridge. So the heels are lined up with your tush, with the sit bones of your tush. Hands are down, and we're going to do pelvic peel, actually. So you're going to start in the pelvis. Pelvic floor lifts, which takes the pelvis up, and you're going to peel the spine up, 1 vertebra at a time. Stretch the back, and then peel back down. And tip, exaggerate at the bottom. So at the bottom, I want your back arching, and you probably can't see in the shirt, but I want some space under here. My pelvis is tilted back, my hips are forward, and then I'm going to reverse it, okay? And lower. And tip. You want this a little harder. At the top, I'm going to invite you to lift 1 knee before you come down. And then, of course, you would change sides. Lift when you get to the top. Lift. Control lower.